you guys, it's me, Dr. Tori. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about ACEs. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, BeVicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about ACEs. Let's go, y'all. Hello, hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. Now, y'all know who I am. I'm Dr. Victorious, the person that creates victory in others. I am here to introduce this young man. Let me tell you, there are some students that I have worked with through extracurricular activities that you know are great. I knew from day one he was great, period. I knew that he was going to be somebody and someone doing something. And when I tell you it's an honor to reunite with this young man, I think for me it's the just more than him being an African American male, but coming from Chicago and coming from a community where that stereotype is, that doesn't happen. I am living witness of his success, and he is here sitting in a seat ready to interview with me today. Jerimiah Boyd Johnson. Y'all know who he is? Come on up in here.
Oh,
I
hey.
cannot hold this excitement in. Oh my God, I knew you was gonna be great. I did. So did.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
Listen,
we do what we can.
listen. Do you know who you are? Do you know I knew who you was from the beginning?
Oh man, I mean, I try to do what I'm supposed to do in order to uplift the people and
Listen.
make society a better place.
And you have done that. I am witness. He did it since his freshman year in high school. And he has graduated and done wonderful things. I think it was when I got the introduction on LinkedIn, and I was like, man, it's real. Tell us about you, Jerimiah.
So, first and foremost, my name is Jerimiah Boyd Johnson. I'm 26 years old. I'm originally from Englewood, which is it was in Chicago, Illinois, and I moved to the Chicago South suburbs, moved to Riverdale, Illinois, and I grew up in the Pacesetter projects. I graduated from Thornridge High School, number 3 in my class, where I competed in activities such as speech, theater. I was on the Student Board of Education, Student Council, National Honor Society, and thereupon graduating from Thornridge High School, I went on to Eastern Illinois University, where I got my degree in political science with my minor in pre-law. I graduated magna cum laude at Eastern Illinois University. I was the homecoming king. I was the Lincoln Academy student laureate. I was also the captain of the speech team there at Eastern Illinois University. I ran many organizations such as the Black Student Union, the NAACP, and also ran other many campus organizations. I was the founder of the Police Advisory Board there on the university's campus, and I graduated as the distinguished senior there at the university. Upon Eastern Illinois University, which is just a service level of my service work, I end up graduating from I end up going to the University of Miami School of Law, where I graduated with my Juris Doctor degree. I was the parliamentarian of the Black Graduate Students Association. I was the recipient of the Wilkie D. Ferguson Junior Bar Association Award, which is the Black Bar Association's award. I was received with the Rodney B. Thaxton Scholarship. Along with that, being on campus, I was a civil rights activist in the state of Florida, leading a trope of in the voice of Black students. Afterwards, upon graduating, I worked as an assistant public defender in Miami-Dade County on the front line of public defense in that county. Now, I am currently seeking employment, and I am looking for a career change in civil rights litigation. So I'll be taking the Illinois bar soon.
Listen, I got tears in my eyes. I knew. I knew. There's a stereotype on African American males, Jeremiah, and you know that. Thank you for being who you are. I seen it from day one. It just did my heart when you started talking about your extracurricular activities because I am not for sure if you're aware, but that is what I got my dissertation on. You're right there. You saw. Oh yeah, I forced you on the board, student board. I had to. Because you kind of gotta know who's going to go. And so there were some things that I knew, but then there were things that I didn't, and my heart is so full. to even start how you started, you guys, we're talking about Chicago. Chicago is a melting pot and always has been. But as you know, with the community violence that goes on in Chicago all alone, you're a Black man. But I think for me, it's not the fact that you made it. You're striving and you're thriving and you're thirsty and you're ready for more. First off, congratulations on the day, JD. I didn't know that one. You surprised.
Thank you.
That one, you kind of surprised me with that one because I have been doing my best to keep in contact, of course, with Eastern and everything. But, life happens, that transition with COVID happened. But let me tell you, you've always been destined for greatness. So I'm not surprised. I wish you right now in advance nothing but success with taking the Illinois bar seriously. And I will tell you that because, again, that defeats the stereotype. So for me, doing my research, being at Thornridge, again, doing research at Thornridge was a big deal because of the stereotype, if that makes sense.
Oh, thank you. I know they miss you at Thornridge. I miss having seen you there.
I mean, and listen, I got your request. I'm going to Miss Owsley is still my right hand. That's my sister. I love her. I still have a huge team. Shout out to the principal, Dr. Brown. Ever since he's been in position, he's been very open. We work together, so it's not like he doesn't support. So I'm gonna definitely nod because I think me. I was always heavy with putting you all back into the community. And so, yeah, I don't see it. If it's not going to be there, let's be clear, it's going to be at one of those 12-5s because you're needed. I mean, I would actually encourage you to start there because I do community service within Be VicTORIEus Foundation in District 12-5. So connect with me. I get you hooked up and connected with the right people. And to be totally honest with you, you are a part of a huge generation that is taking over. I helped with Jasmine Crockett's campaign. I'm actually here in Dallas, Texas. So I left right in the middle of COVID. That new administration, may they be excited, but I just couldn't do it again, especially not during COVID and with that new administration not really kind of letting me do what I wanted to do, which was run the school. Not to say it like that, but
Yeah,
I
run activities. Because I mean,
yeah.
the fine arts is the basis of Thornridge High School. We are the school of the fine arts. We are TR. So when it comes down to the students that make it happen for speech, for theater, for band, for those type of foundations, when those programs are being cut or when those programs are not being identified, those are the leaders of your school. So when you don't have an administration that focuses and invests in that type of fine arts and those type of people, even say the step team, when they don't invest in those type of things, those are your students that go on to do great things and they come back and they invest inside of the community. Sometimes people get caught up so much on athletics is important in the Black community, but the student activities is the heart and soul of the Black community.
And I get it. And what I'm gonna tell you is that's what I did my dissertation on. And that's the wonderful thing because you're proof in the pudding. We did that. You cannot say, you know what I mean? It's such a strength to be so involved and have that involvement in something that is shaping and rooting your character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It was very foundational. If I had not had the board experience and the fine arts experience, I don't think I would have achieved anything that I've achieved. Thornridge definitely provided that background and those safe spaces for me to be a community activist and a community leader. And once I went on to college and went on to get a JD, I realized how prepared I was to run student organizations and people really seeing me as a leader and as the voice of the students. So I thank you guys for that because you all provided me the backbone to be the best leader that I could be. I wouldn't be anywhere today if it wasn't for that foundation.
This podcast has changed the world. And I say that because I've been doing this for, I want to say 5 years now.
Okay.
And it has turned into an educational tool that has educated thousands, tens of thousands. 8.5 out of 5 on Apple Podcasts, number 6 in childhood trauma. But you know about ACEs, am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Because I think you was a part of that I think I gave you, you was the one I gave credit to. See, I can get do the dissertation.
I was on the transition team. Remember, I was on the transition team that led even the restorative justice programs, not
Yep.
just not what's wrong with that child, but what happened to that child. And it was like, no, 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 we need to shift our perspective on how we are approaching and dealing with student issues. If the student is behaving a certain type of way in the building, what is happening to them at home? And I think that people forgot that. And these were my colleagues. So I knew what happened to these children, but these children did not feel safe when they came into the building because you had people judging their behaviors and not understanding that we were suffering from mental health disorders. We were suffering from, you know what I'm saying, abuse. We were suffering from all these different things going into that side of that school building every day, carrying situations and still had to suffer through. But everyone doesn't have the strength nor the ability to push past that. Some students really needed that assistance. And I think in that aspect, the education system is failing.
Yep. And again, we need you because you're a product of what you want to help. So for me, think about it. Administrator, educator, I did what I could. Extracurricular activity was the goal for me. It was to keep you all involved. And I always encourage people when I talk to different districts now, because as you know, this is my business now. This is what I do. When I'm going to districts and I'm talking about, the school to prison pipeline or restorative justice or adverse childhood experiences, to let them know to look at their data. Look at your attendance rate and your suspension rate. Regardless of what people say, you can look at that. It sounds crazy, but I knew in order to get you guys to do certain things, you got to remember we had ABC 9 flyovers every year. I mean, out of all the schools in the school area, at least they came. And what I loved is that our community came at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had Dunkin' Donuts, whatever I could to get y'all there. However, it worked.
It did. We always showed up and we showed out. And I mean, I remember when we even had, D-Lo, we had chemo that came in and, they was in there bopping and stuff like that to show, just because there is a time and a space for us to have fun at school. And I think that people forget that. Like when the students do not want to come into the building, it can't just be about education, 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 because those activities are education. The things that Ms. Nesbitt taught me being a speechy is what I take with me every time I walked into a courtroom. My vernacular is different. The way I carry myself, the way I perform, the way I go to trial, the way I say things, and the way that I'm able to speak to people, and it's very clear. And the way I'm able to frame a story at trial is so different than my colleagues because I have that inside extracurricular experience. So it's different.
It is. It is. But at least you have that, and some people don't.
Right.
And that's the reason why I decided to step out and say, hey, let me create this for others in other respective communities, in other school districts, in other organizations. You know what I mean? Because yeah, the light shined, but it didn't shine hard enough for me. It shined enough for me to do what I'm doing now, which is highlighting you, people that are cycle breakers in the community doing the work that people don't know that it took you here based off of your experiences. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with having an ACEs score. I tell people all the time. It was sad to go to the announcements. I remember the year, and I still talk to a lot of students. I know you know, the year that Miss Nesbitt passed away, and the students do the announcements, and it was like, so who's gonna do it? And I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna announce this to the students, and then the students was like, well, we don't want to do it either because remember, it was always a Nesbitt student. Hardest thing ever. Because again, she was such a staple in the community at the school. Miss Nesbitt was great. So just imagine just that trauma. of making an announcement of your teacher passing away, and how it wasn't just the students that were affected, but the staff was affected as well.
Yeah,
That was my experience.
yeah, it was very hard for me, even my senior year going back into the program. But I said, I have to finish my last season for Miss Nesbitt. I remember I got the call the night before. So I didn't even show up to school that day because I was so broken. I had known Miss Nesbitt since 2011 when she was helping run the theater department for the United Nations Summer Leadership Academy. Again, another extracurricular activity sponsored by District 205. And I remember being in that program and being up under her wing. So I knew her in such a capacity where she had such an impact on my life from early childhood all the way up into high school. So to lose her at that time was very heartbreaking. But I think it goes to show that she still carries a piece in our hearts, in everyone's heart. And you know, one thing that she taught us is that the show must go on. And so that's how I feel about my life now. No matter what struggles that I face in my life, the show must go on.
Yep. She would be so proud of you. I know she's looking down. Listen, because I am. Like you were one of those ones that if I asked you to do something, you would. And so I want to give you a title, and it's something that I have been expressing. Be VicTORIEus Foundation is a non-for-profit. When I left education, I couldn't leave me, and when people ask me what Be VicTORIEus Foundation is, I let them know it's a mentorship program. I don't just mentor students, though. I mentor anybody that needs transformational leadership because I do a good job at it. Not to say it like that, but seriously, look at you. And so, no shade, it's a whole brag because I remember that student board vest and sweater and blazer. I had y'all, I had y'all in blazers, ready, well versed. And so that's what people have to understand. The word is called cycle breaker.
Mm, mm.
When I tell you you are a poster child, you are.
Oh,
Because
thank
if you think about ACEs and you think about the experience that we experience, the thing that I will share is some people run away from the ACEs score because they think it gives them a stereotype, but it's really not a stereotype. It just gives you an identifier of where you need to be. Community violence in itself. We were doing SAVE at our school before I started doing dissertation work. You know what I mean? So we were always student against violence everywhere. We still got step show. Shout out to Dr. Johnson, by the way, who will be on the podcast soon, because she is still doing it under SAVE. So there's still a lot. Um, um, I got to give a huge shout out. She's gonna be so upset with me, but I call her EZ, Erica Zachary.
Oh
I
yeah,
am
Miss Zachary.
She's still a favorite. She's always going to be. People still ask for her. I will tell you, she is a huge supporter of Be VicTORIEus Foundation. As soon as we got the book, she ordered like, I want to say 10 for the department. She's a department chair in English.
Yeah, Miss Zachary.
She earned it too, you know. So I'm really excited for her. And she brought a whole bunch of books and gave them to her staff. Like don't play. Like I still love Thornridge. So there's no foul play or no nothing like that there. They're very supportive. I even have I know you, for sure you know Antonio and Brittany's scholarship is out there in part of my foundation, and we implemented Tevin. Tevin was 2014, so we had to do Tevin before we did anybody. And with him being a triple threat and me signing up and doing this in collaboration with Locked by London, she was 2014 the salutatorian. She was supposed to be the valedictorian, but you know, don't say nothing. She is doing wonderful work. She actually helped me into entrepreneurship. So listen, you learn from students too. You learn from just growth, just learning through experiences. And I want my audience to know that's why we here. We built this real bond by the stuff that we were doing. Just I think people don't understand and realize it was me, but it was also you all too, because you all saw Thornridge as a second place. That was home. And I'm not gonna say I don't know why, but I made it comfortable. You know what I mean? There was always something to do.
Mm-hmm. It was. That's why I never left the school. I never left school. I was there to school till sun up, till sun down, because
Mhm.
I'm like, I gotta work. That was my job. My job was to go to school. My job was not only to go to school, but it was also to be an IB and AP student. Like I did it all at the same time. And it was like, and was it difficult to juggle? Yeah, it was difficult. It was hard, but you know what? I was safer in the
Yeah.
schoolhouse than I was in the street
Mm.
because I saw a lot of my colleagues. I mean, I remember I worked an internship at Markham Courthouse, and I was working in the Cook County Public Defender's Office, and I would see so many of my former colleagues be driven inside the system. So it's not only to see them struggle in high school, but now to see them in the system. I saw a young man who was being charged with a first-degree murder from my high
Yeah.
school. And it was heartbreaking. It was heart wrenching because that means that the schools and the education system is failing us. I
Yeah.
can I can say that up front and face front and face value that education is failing. And education is failing because we are seeing tremendous cuts to the Department of Education. Tremendous in a way, in a storm of an individual who does not understand education at all.
Right.
So we have to be honest with ourselves.
Mom.
Education saves our children. It puts our children in positions that they will never be. But then we see an affirmative action decision that says
Yeah.
that diversity doesn't matter in education. Yes, it does. Because then who is representing our students? Who are representing the people?
Yeah.
Because I can look to my left and I can look to my right, and I can say when I was hired in Miami-Dade County Public Defender's Office that I was the only Black man that was hired in my class.
Mm.
But we say that diversity doesn't matter in education. Yes, it does, because who is representing these people?
Right. I love you. I do. I do. I do. Because you are speaking my talk.
No one is going to defend us like
Nope.
us.
Exactly. And that's the reason why you are here. It's time for you to start breaking a whole bunch of generational cycles. Seriously. It's time for you to start advocating for your, not just your community, but for us. Let's be clear. You know that it's systemic racism out here. You know it. It's the reason why I will share with you. I haven't hid it from anyone. I left public education here in Texas because of systemic racism. I didn't hide it. I wrote a book about it, and we've been talking about ACEs ever since. What's interesting is I see the decline. And so what's interesting is these past 3 years, I've been building this foundation, like the foundation, the speaking engagements, me, I create victory. I was creating, it's funny because they don't know I was creating victory in you all before I got the doctor title. This, I was Miss Williams. Like
Ms. Williams.
so listen, they don't know that. They see doc, it's a lot of people that just know Dr. Williams. They don't know what it took for me to get there. Just like they don't know when your introduction said you're from Riverdale. The ones in Chicago know exactly what that means. So again, here we are. That's the reason why I advocate for ACEs. That's the reason why I address the childhood trauma that needs to be addressed. So when we get adults, it doesn't have an impact on us.
Mhm.
I need your help. I do. Because when you get in those courtrooms or when you advocate and you do those things, the awareness is the key. We have to let people know, yeah, when we were in school, bullying wasn't okay, but the bullying actually started when we were at home. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Because that's the reason why when I go on my speaking engagements and I talk to the people and let them know, I speak on you all's behalf. You all were the students that I was working with. I was always at school. So that's why honestly it was easy for me to continue to work at the school. I was always there all the time because y'all were there. I couldn't leave y'all at the school. So then I had a slumber party and people was like, no, you're not supposed to be doing slumber parties at school. And what happened? I did them. You know what I mean? It wasn't that we didn't have, I got proof in the pudding. It was all kind of teachers that volunteered to do what they needed to do, but we knew what we needed to do. We were heavy on the school to prison pipeline because we knew it was real. We knew that the streets was it. Remember on Saturdays when I would do the Saturday open door where the boys would play basketball and the girls would come in and comb
Hmm.
braid hair and do all
Yep.
those type of things. That's entrepreneurship.
Right. And then I got on the student board, remember? And now they got the
Exactly.
studio there and advocated for the actual cosmetology school because I
Ex-
said there needs to be some type of, just like Simeon had the career academy. I said everybody is not college focused. So we need centered programs that don't just advocate for college education, but also advocates for careers.
Thank
So
you.
not limiting our students, because I believe it was Booker T. Washington who
Come
said
on.
that it was Black people who didn't just need the education, but they also needed the trade experience. But I
Yeah.
mean, but people, I said, people are not reading. They're
Yeah.
not reading anymore. They're not teaching our students what they need to know. And we have what's going on with these ban on books. And I remember Mary Tina Vrayhouse had us read Fahrenheit 451 when they talked about burning books and they talked about how Big Brother was watching and how they wanted to destroy what people were allowed to believe and what people were allowed to think. So it's like, oh, now I see it. It's very clear. Like, oh, so these are the books that you want to ban? You want
Right.
to ban these books because you don't want the resistance from the people.
Exactly. I'm so glad you were woke then. You know what I mean? Because I really believe we prepared you all for this. And again, I think that's the reason why with everything that's going on right now in today's society, the pushback, like the open racism, the bullying, the cyberbullying, all of that type of thing. Yeah, I kept y'all woke. You know what I mean? Because you know. Shout out to Mary Tina House. Let's be, I still keep it like this is a great, wonderful thing. Shout out to, let me go ahead and throw a few of Mr. Hedden favorite. Always gonna be, hey, Mr. Fritz is actually at Thornwood as a department chair, but nonetheless, he's still with 205. But all the science teachers, I still love y'all. I'm still my people. Just the whole building, I'll be honest, I really did not want to leave. However, when you are thriving and you are doing something different and you want something different, I honestly don't think I would have been able to do what I'm doing today if I was still there. And I wouldn't change this because this is the reward. Look at you. I poured into you. It wasn't just me. I'm going to say our Thornridge family poured into you. And look at you. You are the educated Black man that made it out of Chicago. Congratulations. That itself makes you a cycle breaker. And so that is what you have to carry with you. You're representing not just yourself, but you're representing all of the ones before you, like the Nesbitts, like, I mean, it was you were involved. Jeremiah, your year, I think you was like in 7 or 8 different activities, you know what I mean? Just period. So you got to look at your culture and what shaped you. I'm proud. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm not. I am. It's a huge brag. And I'm going to brag about 5 or 6, 7 different times because, again, you got to look at it as a Black man. You got to look at it as Greek life. I thought that was so cool when I first saw it. I was like, oh, okay, that is
Oh yeah.
it was so fitting. I mean, not to say that because, I have a high regard for the men of Alpha Phi Alpha. So let's be clear. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's fitting. That's you. So it's just and again, to be that teacher that still keeps in contact. You're a grown man at this point. So to see you, just know if you need a recommendation, I'm there. If you need somebody that can speak on your character or your behavior, I know you have your people, but I've been knowing you since you was 14 years old. It's a different look, especially to see you grow up. What's this, 12 years later?
Yeah, this is 12 years. Yeah, I can't believe I'm 26.
I can because I knew that you were destined for greatness. I knew it. I knew it. I bet on you. I did. And it's an honor for you to be sitting in this seat because, again, I believe the Lord brought us together so I can help you on your next chapter in your life. And
Thank
it'll be my honor. It will because you are You were that one. Like, I'll be honest, you were that one. It was a few of you all. And I got to shout out my second favorite. Listen, Sonia Bradley is a board member now.
Bradley,
So
yeah, that's my girl. We was on the board together.
listen, she when just the fact that she was like, I'm considering, I was like, yeah, the considered it done. And so to have her, because y'all, I know nobody wanted to do it, but y'all did it. And look at God and look at what has happened. All of that experience, like I told y'all then, that's experience that you use to place you in these positions that you're doing right now. So thank you for listening and thank you for trusting me, because I'm telling you, that's how you're gonna get your next job. Watch. I ain't even gonna bet on it, because now we are reunited and back together. And I ain't under no district. We're gonna act all the way up.
Oh, you know.
I'm just saying. Well, listen, this one was a different one, you guys, because again, I keep in contact with everybody, but this was a real big reunion. I have been missing Jeremiah, and I asked him to do this, and he did it, and it has been my pleasure. You guys, if you didn't, let me recap of what happened. We talked about it, and I keep pushing it. We've identified ACEs. We're aware of an ACEs score. Not only are we aware of ACEs, but we're in communities where ACEs scores thrive high. However, we made it. We're not letting that ACEs score define us. What we're doing is taking that ACEs score, maximizing on it, using it to help others, and using it to make us stronger. We are cycle breakers. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. I'm going to continue to bring people like Jeremiah here, because when you think of people that are breaking generational cycles, who are breaking generational curses, I'll give you an example. Jeremiah, how are your parents?
So my parents right now, so I'll tell you first and foremost, I grew up with a single mom. My mom
Hmm.
had me at 14 years old. My
Hmm.
mom is she works in a CILA where she works as a caretaker for the developmentally disabled.
Hmm.
So I watched my mom not only work there, but also worked at AutoZone. My mom worked two jobs,
Hmm.
right? Growing up. And she raised me by herself as a single parent. Do I have a relationship with my father? Yes, but not in the capacity that everybody else would. So my dad is more like a friend more than like a father. But my mother is the mama. She is Mama Bear. I am her hip child. I am the one that she sacrificed everything for. So she's well. I mean, she works hard, and now I watch my mom rent a home in the pace of the projects and live check to check now to be a homeowner. So she's doing
Yep.
very well for herself now. And my mom actually encouraged me a lot, because my mom was a District 133 board member. So she was serving in the school district, and she was also inside the community. So to watch my mom work two jobs, take care of me and my little brother, and also serve on the board where she was also servicing the community. My mom is powerful. My mom is an all-star.
Listen, rooted, always a part of the team. Let's be clear. I brought it up. Now, when I was at Thornridge, I was nice, married, and had the three girls. Those three girls are 20, 18, and 14. And I'm single, and I'm doing all three by myself. Happy about it, because I had strong people around me, like you all, that supported, but not did more, set the example by being mentors. So I thank you. Your mother is a cycle breaker. That's the reason why I keep throwing that out. I really want you to look at it, because you're the one that broke the generational cycle. You're the one that became the success. And your chapter, to be honest, hasn't begun at all. At 26, I'm not even gonna lie, I was still kicking it. When I mean kicking it, I was kicking it. I ain't lying. No, for real. I had jobs and it was cute, but it honestly wasn't until I had my daughter and I was like, yeah, I gotta slow down and start doing some things. I'm a mama now. So I get it. But baby, we got a career we gotta work on. So what's our next steps? You said that you're in Illinois and you trying for the bar. So when we get the bar, what's next steps?
So after taking the Illinois bar and upon passing the exam, one thing that I want to do is I want to do civil rights litigation. So I actually want to have the ability to sue prisons to hold them accountable for civil rights violations. So there was a lot of things that I seen in the prisons and in the jails as an assistant public defender that was wrong, right? Where they were not in compliance with the U.S. Attorney's Office and their goals and their agendas that they set for the conditions of the people inside of the jails. So one thing I want to do is I want to be able to sue for damages. One of the most interesting cases that I was able to read while I was in law school was for the fact that inmates in the Miami-Dade County corrections facilities were burned alive, and not one individual was charged for those inmates being killed. But while an individual wasn't charged, that doesn't mean that the prison was not liable. The jail was not liable. And so
Right.
to be able to sue them in tort, and also to allow the Miami-Dade County to hold that corrections facility accountable would,
Right.
it would be something that I would want to do, but bring that back to the state of Illinois, given the experience. So that's what I would want to do, civil rights litigation, and also have a position and a role in politics. To advocate for my community, be able to get funding, be able to open up programs, and be able to advocate and be out there with the people, because they need my support.
Right. They do. And people are going to listen to you because you're an African American man, and it's a big deal. And I'm not saying that, I'm telling you what I know. You work with me when we discussed and talked about the school to prison pipeline. You're the best advocate for it.
I've seen it.
So yeah, you know what I mean? So we need you. We need you to continue to do this. And like I said, I'm here to help. I definitely want to see, because I know that you can make it happen. Your passion in your voice and the passion that you all had. Listen, he had this passion in his voice freshman year. He didn't hide or dim his light at all. And you guys have to understand how valuable it is to be sitting right here with this young man, because honestly, when you think about statistics of African American males, you are the exception. And I am honored to have you here. So, Jeremiah, I got one last question. One last question. Do you believe in a healing journey?
I definitely believe in a healing journey. um I've been through a lot of things in my life, and I'll open up because this is a safe space. um I'll share two stories.
Okay.
um I was around, I believe, 11 to 12 years old when I first seen someone get killed.
Hmm.
When I was around 11, 12, um I got back from the United Nations Summer Leadership Academy, and I got upstairs, and I used to be a window watcher. I loved looking out the window, like just looking at the community and seeing what's going on. And me and my family were in the house, and we saw two guys outside arguing. Mom was like, "What, your mind? Get out the window. What are you doing?" Like, so they were really heated, really things going on. And I seen a man gun down another man right in front of our house. For years, I could not look out a window,
Hmm.
and I had to carry that with me.
Hmm.
I carried it with me to school, because you can't say anything, because you can't talk about it, because you don't have the resources to see a therapist, and you deal with that, and you just have to hold it, and you have to take it to school. That's not the last time I seen somebody get killed in front of my face. That was the first time I seen somebody get killed. And then the second story, I was in high school my sophomore year. I don't know if you knew, but when I was in high school, it was my sophomore year. Me and my family, we experienced a home invasion where me, my aunt, we had to fight off our attacker inside of the home. And that's why I decided to stay at school so much, because I was scared to stay in my bed. I was scared to stay in my home, because my sanctity and my safety had been violated. So, do I believe in a healing journey? I surely do. Because
Hmm.
once I got to college, I was able to get the mental health resources that I needed. So it was a process, and we all go through things at life. Uh,
Yep.
but we got to go through it step by step. So I had to sit down and talk to somebody, um, and it's not a weakness to go get help; it's a strength.
Thank you. Such a blessing. Because what you described are adverse childhood experiences, and I'm glad you were very descriptive. I'm glad that you told you shared your story, because that is the reality, and it happened all the time, all the time. It was draining, honestly. I'm not even surprised, because just imagine me being in the safe space all the time in the stories that I received, just based off of, which is the reason why I had no other choice but to stay at school. I got grants to stay at the school. Remember how the I used to walk around and the kids used to work with me giving out oranges and stuff after school? Yeah, that was a grant, because I knew that that was what that was. I knew that I needed to do something, because that school to prison pipeline is real. The community crime is real. You just explained it. So here we are, and you made it, and we're doing something about it. So if you all did not know, oh, absolutely. You have to connect with people to understand that their trauma isn't ending. It's using that to heal and take the next steps to help somebody else with their experience, so they don't have to go through those things. And I think that's the reason why the Lord placed you in the position that he placed you in now. You're going to be so good. I can't wait to see it. Like, this next chapter is going to be amazing. So you have to let people know, because not only are you doing the work and you're ready to do the work, you have a bright beginning. He's on LinkedIn, but where can people find you, Jerimiah? Just in case people have questions or concerns.
I don't have LinkedIn right now because I'm taking a break.
That's
I
fine. That's
I'm
fine.
taking a break. I need a right when we talk about our healing journey,
Yes.
kind of a break from LinkedIn because I'm prioritizing the bar examination. But
Oh,
if you do want to contact me, I'll put my email below. It is Jerimiah, Jerimiah, not like spelling the Bible, but
right.
Jerimiah J and then Jerimiahj 2000 at gmail.com. So you can email me, feel free to email me, feel free to contact me. But we're rebuilding some things, and then we're doing like a full rebrand. So
I
when I
get
come
it.
back to social media, it'll be like, okay, boom, he's back.
And he's ready, because that's what I'm looking forward to. Listen, I actually am taking a hiatus. I'm doing podcasts. This is episode 3 of me coming back from January. So I get it. Sometimes you have to do that. People have to understand that you don't have to do everything. You have to prioritize yourself. So congratulations, because you're taking this bar, as you should, seriously. I am going to do, like I said, I got to go back to Miss Williams mode and set you up with some session hours of things. I definitely can do that on my behalf of my foundation for you, just to help you and support you and let you know that I'm still here and I am doing whatever I need to do, because I know you're gonna fight, not just for us cycle breakers, not just for those with aces, but for those who understand that the school to prison pipeline is real. Number two, that community violence is still out there, and that we can heal from our past experiences.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for being here, you guys. Look, y'all know where to find me, but I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna lock Jeremiah in. I gotta get him in on this foundation, because I know he's going to help so many people, not just understand the next steps, but just advocate for who they are as individuals and take possibly mentors. So understand what Be Victorious Foundation looks like, know what we do and how we operate. I've been doing this mentorship for a long time. So to have this foundation is the reason why we're here. You all can always donate. We have scholarships. I would love to continue to do that part of it in regards to fundraising, because again, you got people like Jeremiah that's out here that is doing the best that they can, and they need those donations, they need those offerings, they need those things in order to take that test, to take that next steps. And that's the reason why we are here. Be Victorious Foundation, Be Victorious Podcast, and Be Victorious is who we are. Thank you guys for another episode of Be Victorious. We'll see you guys soon, you guys. Bye-bye.